It has been a while. Hello everybody, I'm back. It's been a while, been a long time, and I'm not sure how to kind of start this video. It's not going to be the best video visually, there's not going to be a lot going on. It's just kind of a chat through where I've been, what's been going on, kind of scenario. But thank you for everyone who has messaged me over the last, God, it's probably been about 18 months since I was properly budgeting, properly recording. Yeah, it's been a long time and a lot has happened. A lot has changed. So yeah, we're going to kind of go through everything, like what the hell has happened basically, in terms of our family, our finances, yeah, everything. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to go through our new budgeting setup because we need to get back on track. Oh, my printer's having a minute. There we go, should stop. So for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Natalie. I am on a journey to become debt free. We are currently a family of 4, but for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, I am pregnant and I am due in 2 weeks. So yeah, we have a baby girl joining our family in approximately 2 weeks. I have 2 boys at the moment, they are 7 and 4. I refer to them as pickles. So I've got Big Pickle, Little Pickle, and then Baby Pickle, who is joining us. And it is a girl. We are very excited that it is a girl. Something that I've always wanted. I've always wanted a girl. Always had a girl's name picked out. It was a huge shock to us. I say a huge shock. We'll go through the process of finding out and stuff later in the video. But yeah. Yeah, 2 weeks. It's crazy. So I'm currently on maternity leave from my work. I was a manager in a restaurant, if you're new to this channel. So yeah, I was a manager in a restaurant. I was working full time. My partner is a mechanic, he also works full time. And yeah, we live in England, northeast. I think that's all you kind of need to know for now, and then you'll kind of get the backstory in a moment. So that's where we currently are. So I'm on maternity leave, due a baby in 2 weeks. And basically our finances are in the gutter, is the best way to completely put it. We are in a lot more debt than we have ever been in our entire lives. And I will leave my debt total for another video. We'll go through that together in a more in-depth way. But I kind of wanted to go through why and how we got to this position. So I'm going to go back in time. Oh, come on, printer. You just showed me up now. It's switching off. Just give it a minute. Right, fingers crossed that's the last interruption from the printer. So we're going to go back in time to around August 2023. So that's why I said it was about 16 to 18 months ago. I had just applied for a full-time position at work. Previously I was part-time, I was just a part-time waitress as such. So I applied for a full-time management position. I've done management in hospitality before, but because of the kids and pregnancies and stuff, I'd only ever worked part-time since then. But it felt the right time for me to kind of go back to work full-time. It was a job that I really wanted. And in August 2023, I found out I was pregnant. We hadn't planned a third baby. We were quite content with the family that we had. 2 gorgeous boys. We've got a house that we bought. Well, it's on mortgage, but we managed to buy a house. We were quite content with our situation. So yeah, huge shock. And then unfortunately around the 8-week pregnant mark, we did unfortunately lose the baby. And that kind of put me in a really weird place mentally, because even though I wasn't sure that that was what we wanted, having that option taken away from me was quite eye-opening as such. if that makes sense. I'm not trying not to go into too much detail here, but yeah. So anyway, we carried on with life. I was offered the job, so I took the job, the full-time position, and that started from October 2023. So just over a year ago, I started working full-time. The position was 45 hours a week, what seemed like a good salary to begin with. Yeah, life was good. We had a really good Christmas, although because of everything that had kind of happened over the summer and the introduction of this new job, I just completely fell off the budgeting bandwagon. My head wasn't in the right space to kind of cope with it. I didn't have the time that I'd had before at home to kind of keep on top of it, because I was working 45 hours a week, but the way that my shifts kind of worked, I was doing split shifts, so I was doing like 9 till 3 in the afternoon, and then I was going back at work at 5 o'clock and doing till 11 o'clock in the evening. So I wasn't actually home a lot, and I think I kind of overcompensated for my lack of presence in the house, especially with the kids. So anything they kind of like wanted, they got, in that kind of sense, because I felt guilty. I'd been home for so long, and then all of a sudden I was kind of gone. Especially on the days where I was doing split shifts, because the kids wouldn't finish school or nursery till 5:30, and by the time they got home I was already back at work. So they were only actually seeing me for about half an hour in the morning, and then I was working all weekend, so I would work all day Saturday, all day Sunday, so they were only actually getting 2 evenings a week with me, whereas previously I was home, and I was only working maybe 3 or 4 shifts a week. So yeah, I thought that taking that full-time job was going to be the best thing for our finances, but it turned out to be the worst thing that I could have done for our finances. Even though I was bringing in more money, we kind of overcompensated on everything. We took on more outgoings because we thought that we had more money. So we took on more credit agreements, we bought new things. Yeah, we were just really, I can't think of the word, but really irresponsible in the terms of we thought in our heads we had more money, and we actually in reality didn't. Because of everything that had gone on in the summer and the loss of the pregnancy, I think I needed that job to kind of make me busy, to keep my head occupied, yeah, to kind of cope with the loss of that. It's not the first pregnancy that we have lost. So the little girl that I'm currently pregnant with now, and I'm due in 2 weeks, she is our little rainbow, but she is actually my 6th pregnancy. So I've dealt with loss before, but I don't know why this one kind of hit me a little bit more than the others. But yeah, so going forward a little bit further, so I got the job in October 2023, and then we decided to move Big Pickle, who is our eldest, he is 7. We decided to move his school. He has difficulties, emotional and social difficulties, and we were struggling to get him settled in the school that he was in. We weren't entirely sure whether it was additional difficulties that he had over and above other children, or whether it was just the situation that he was kind of in at school, the people that he was around, and the support that he was getting at the school he was at. So in November 2023, we actually made the decision to move him to a different school that on paper said that they dealt with additional needs in a different way, or in a better way than the school that he was at. So he started his new school in November 2023. We had a couple of weeks where it was rough, obviously a transition period for him starting his new school. But he seemed to settle really well. Like, once we got through those first couple of weeks, he settled really, really well, and he had a really, really good few months, like 4 or 5 months, I think. Really, really good. Things had improved at home. in terms of his behaviour, his routines. Obviously, I wasn't there a lot to see all these routines being put into place, which I feel incredibly guilty about now. But yeah, he seemed to be absolutely thriving at this new school, which was amazing. Unfortunately, then in May 2024, so we're looking at, 6 months ago now, things started to spiral downhill again. And when I've looked into various additional needs and things like that, basically it says that because he wasn't comfortable with the people and it was a new situation, he was masking his difficulties at school. And because he was becoming more and more comfortable in the school that he was now in, that mask was kind of fading, and he was starting to show his real behaviours and behave in the way that he now felt comfortable to behave in. Unfortunately, that did lead to several suspensions from school. So I've gone a little bit too far. So we're now in May 2024, but I found out I was pregnant with little Miss Pickle in the end of March. So at the end of March, I found out I was pregnant with little Miss. Still a shock, because we weren't actively trying to have a third baby, because we were so I was overwhelmed with the loss, and we weren't sure that we wanted a third child. We weren't actively trying, but everything happens for a reason, I kind of guess. So yeah, at the end of March, beginning of April time this year, I found out I was pregnant again. And obviously with everything that had happened in the summer previous, it has been treated as a high-risk pregnancy. I'm really sorry if I sound out of breath. I've got long COVID and I'm obviously very heavily pregnant. So everything is a lot of work for me at the minute. But yes, I'll carry on. So that was end of March, beginning of April. End of April, we then unfortunately lost our family dog. My gorgeous German Shepherd that I have had for 10 years. Big part of the family. And yeah, unfortunately, we did have to make the decision that nobody ever really wants to make, to get her to put to sleep, because she had developed a stomach cancer, like a really rare aggressive form of stomach cancer, and even if they had operated, it would have only given her a couple of months. So yeah, we made the decision. And I don't know if all of this has kind of led to Big Pickle having his difficulties. Probably has. Obviously the introduction of a new sibling, the loss of the family dog, the change in schools is obviously not, all of this is kind of built up. But yeah, going back to May 2024, we started getting him sent home from school. So basically his behaviour wasn't acceptable at school. He was being sent home, so I was having to homeschool. And because of that, I then had to reduce my hours at work. So I was previously doing 45 hours a week. I was working split shifts. I was working during the day while the kids were at school and on an evening. But because Big Pickle had been suspended for various different times, I think by the time we got to the end of June, he'd been suspended 8 or 9 times for different lengths of time. So sometimes it was like 2 days, sometimes it was 3, sometimes it was for a full week. And it was just crazy. So I just had to reduce my hours at work, which financially didn't help us because my salary had to reduce. Yeah, it wasn't the great time, because obviously when I'd found out that I was pregnant at the end of March, beginning of April, we'd made the decision for me to work as much as I could up until going on to maternity leave, so that we could save up for my maternity leave, because unfortunately I only receive statutory maternity pay, which is 6 weeks at 90%, and then after that 6 weeks it goes down to £184 a week. My usual salary was about £500 a week after tax, so I'm losing about £320 a week, which is a lot of money. Not sure how we're going to cope once that kind of kicks in, but that's why I had to come back to budgeting. I had to come back and face the reality of where we are. So yeah, going back to his suspensions, I'd reduced my hours at work, which had already reduced my income. So unfortunately we haven't been able to save as much as I had hoped. In fact, we haven't got anything at all, because I already had to reduce my hours and my salary. Subsequently, we haven't been able to save. There's been times where we've had to do the food shopping on credit cards, because we've not been budgeting well enough with the income that we had. Fast forward then to July, beginning of July 2024, Big Pickle was then permanently excluded from school due to his behaviours at school. I'm annoyed. I'm really annoyed with the school and the system. He's been incredibly let down. Apologies, guys. I just need to take a minute to compose myself. Hormones and the reality and mental health just takes over a little bit. But yes, I'm incredibly let down by the system and the school. I just feel like they didn't try hard enough or long enough to support him in what he needed. And he's still, to this day, so this was July, beginning of July. He's still, and I'm filming this obviously at the end of November, he still to this day does not have a school place. His timetable changes every week, because when a child is removed from school, it's then up to your local council to find them provision. So he's been going to different places. He's had a home tutor. They've provided me with like homeschooling materials, that kind of thing. So every week is different for us at the moment in terms of his education. So yeah, because of that, I had to completely remove daytime shifts from my work to be here for him, because everything is completely different. So I have just been working evenings and weekends for the last few months. We're still awaiting referrals and things to come through. We've been rejected from the neuro development team. We've been rejected from psychologists. And I've got an appointment Monday, to go and speak to someone about applying for a EHCP for him, to try and get him into a specialist school that can help him with his difficulties. But we don't know how successful that's going to be, because we've been rejected from basically everybody else. So yeah, we're just kind of in that process where we're fighting to get him what he needs. So yeah, that's where we are with him. It's difficult. It's been tough on us all. So that's kind of why budgeting has not been my main focus over the last year and more. There's just been so many other important things going on that just meant that it wasn't a priority, and it should have been. It still should have been something that we kind of focused on a little bit, but we just kind of wrote it off and lived the life that we kind of wanted to live for a little while, to make things a little bit better, I suppose. But yeah, so back to now. So currently don't have a school place for Big Pickle. Little Pickle has started reception, so he's in his first year of school now. I can't believe how big he is, and he's thriving. God, it's really difficult to talk about. This is why it's taken me so long to record a video, because I knew I wasn't going to cope very well saying everything out loud, and I was umming and ahhing about whether to actually share everything with you, but I needed to be open and honest and transparent about where we are and how we kind of got to this place. Now, I don't want sympathy, and that's not why I've recorded this video as such. It's kind of like let you know where we are, what we've been up to. We do have little miss to look forward to. The boys are really excited to have a sister, so yeah, we've got that to look forward to before Christmas. But yeah, we need to move forward as a family, keep fighting for him and what he needs, but also fight for our life as well, because we are in a position now where obviously I'm on maternity leave, the pay is going to be rubbish, we're in a lot of debt. If you thought my debt was high before, you've seen nothing yet. It's a crazy amount, it's a crazy wild amount, and a lot of you might be disappointed in the fact that I came so far and I've gone back so far, that I've dug myself a hole so big that it's hard to get out of. But we're going to do this. We're going to do this. It's going to be a long journey. But yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. So I'm not sure how regular these videos are going to be over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, I have no idea when she's going to make an appearance. I've got an appointment with my consultant on Wednesday to kind of find out what's going to happen in terms of her delivery into the world. I'm really keen to not have a C-section this time. I had a C-section with Little Pickle due to him being premature, and the recovery was awful, and is something that I don't really want to go through again. So I'm really concerned about having another C-section, so I'm trying to avoid that at all costs if possible. Obviously, if it's deemed medically necessary, then I will go through with that. But because of my previous history with pregnancies, they don't want me to go over a certain date, so there's a chance that I will be induced. So it's all kind of up in the air at the minute as to when she's going to arrive and how she's going to arrive. But yeah, here's to hoping that she's here before Christmas, for sure. My due date is the 13th of December, so she'll definitely be here before Christmas, I would imagine. But yeah, lots to look forward to, and we need to start seeing the positives in life. So yeah, that is where we are. As I said, I will do another video going through our debt in detail. It is going to be a shocker, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that one. But yeah, I thought I'd show you at the end of this video now what my budgeting setup's going to kind of look like going forward. I have designed a new planner for this year, and it is already on my Etsy shop if you want to go and check it out, but don't feel obliged to. This is the new planner. She's a beauty. I need something to keep me motivated, and planners and things like that are always kind of a really useful tool for me. So brand new planner. I haven't filled it in yet. It is completely blank because we're going to start from our December budget, which is going to start from, I believe, the 2nd of December. So yeah, I'll do videos going through all of the planner and how I'm going to set it up. I'll quickly show you some of the pages. It's exactly the same basically as last year's planner. It's just the design that's changed. Nothing else has really changed at all. So if you had last year's planner or saw last year's planner, then it is exactly the same. So we've got goal setting and trackers. We've got a 2025 and a 2026 calendar, categories, tracking fixed expenses, which have just got out of control, a debt overview for anyone who is on a debt-free journey like myself, sinking fund breakdown. We're not going to be focusing on many sinking funds because we have a colossal journey ahead of us in terms of our debt, but I'll go through in a minute what kind of sinking funds we will be focusing on. Side hustle log. This is going to be a big thing for me this year, because I'm going to have to side hustle my way through my maternity, and I don't see myself returning to work either. So yeah, we'll kind of see. It's not fair on the kids for me to kind of return back to evening weekend work. It's not fair on me to leave my soon-to-be husband with 3 kids on a night. Oh, that was another thing. We were supposed to get married in October, just gone, but because we found out about little miss, we postponed our wedding. So our wedding is going to be in October 2025 instead. So that's another thing that we need to continue saving for. Yearly spending overview, some graphs to help keep me motivated to hopefully see the debt going down and our savings going up. And then you just go into the monthly kind of planner section. So you've got a monthly calendar there, the budget itself, so that's broken down by income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, annual savings, variable savings, extra debt payment, long-term savings, and then any rollover. Then there is a section there for anyone who is a cash budgeter to work out how much cash you need to withdraw from the bank. There is 5 of those, so it is a weekly planner. I'm going to be budgeting monthly just for ease because we're paid monthly, and I'm not going to be able to have the option to go to the bank every week and things with a newborn baby. I think I'm going to have my hands full with 3 kids, so we'll see how it goes. Transaction logs, there is 4 of those I believe for every month. Debt breakdown, savings breakdown, and then a monthly overview, and then you just go into the next month, and there is full 12 months in each planner. So on the outset it does look like an expensive cost, but once you break it down it's less than £5 a month, just over £4 I think a month to plan. There are loads of different planners out there. You need to find the one that works for you the best. So please don't, if this doesn't work for you, then please don't. Yeah, get the planner that works for you. Watch videos on different planners. Make your own planner. Even just your bit of pen and paper is more than enough for you to kind of get going. But I need something colourful. I need something visual to keep me motivated. So that's why I have got this. So yeah, there's going to be some videos coming up over the next week of me planning our December budget, which is going to look a little bit weird because of everything that's going to be happening in December. We've got Christmas, we've got the introduction of a new family member. Yeah, it's going to be a bit all over the place, but I will be back with a video on setting up my planner for December. And then I've simplified my binders. We're just going to have the 2. So I've still got my Filofax. It was very dusty when I got her out, completely empty. It's basically starting again. We have no savings left over from what we had originally saved. We have no emergency fund. We have nothing. All we have is we've been living paycheck to paycheck basically for the last year. So this is going to be, my Filofax is going to be like our daily spending as it was before. And then I've just popped some new envelopes in there for myself to keep myself motivated, and there is some new categories in there as well. So we've got groceries, travel, which is for fuel for the car, household. So household for us is anything that is house or beauty kind of related. So toilet paper, laundry products, toiletries like shampoo and conditioner, do you know, the essential toiletries that you need, toothpaste, shower gel, deodorant, that kind of thing, nappies and wipes, because Big Pickle, one part of one of his difficulties is he's still incontinent as such, even though he is 7, and we're still having issues potty training Little Pickle because of the issues that we have with Big Pickle, so it's kind of a big mess. But yeah, that kind of stuff would come out of household. Eating out, we're hoping not to do this anymore because this is a big issue for us and has been since I started working full time, because I would finish work at 11 o'clock. We wouldn't have planned anything to eat, so we would order takeaway. So that's where a lot of our money has gone. Personal, so this is my personal spending. Big Pickle. So I used to have an envelope that would be for all of the kids. But what I'm going to do is start separating them. So Big Pickle's going to get some, Little Pickle's going to get some, and Baby Pickle, she will get more because this will include all of her formula. Because I have real difficulties with producing breast milk. I'm going to try, but I'm not going to put pressure on myself. So yeah, any formula, nappies, wipes, anything that she kind of needs in the first few months. Then we've got miscellaneous, which is anything that I've forgotten about, and then we've got back to bank. So that's it. That's all we've got in here in terms of daily spending. We are going to go back to cash. I can't remember the last time I used cash. It was probably the last time I filmed one of these videos. So yeah, it's going to be nice to go back to something that worked for us. So that's our daily binder. And then moving on to this binder, which is just going to be what our priority is at the minute. Now, my first priority is an emergency fund. We don't have one. We have nothing. And I remember at one point we had £3,000 and that was just blown. So yeah, so the first thing for us is to get £1,000 in our emergency fund. In the last few months, we have had to replace our oven. We've had to put new tyres on the car, repairs on the cars. Then our boiler went and our hot water tank. So that cost us just shy of £1,500 to kind of sort that out. It wasn't even, we didn't even get a new boiler, so God knows how much a new boiler would be next year, which we're probably going to need to buy. So yeah, we've had a lot going on in the last few months, which has been really annoying because I had no savings to cover it, which has led to us increasing our debt. But we'll go into that into more detail in another video. So yeah, it's really important for me to have an emergency fund of some sort. So we're going to start with a baby emergency fund of £1,000, just so that we've got that kind of money there. Normally I would have envelopes for things like car maintenance, house maintenance, things like that, but whilst we're in so much debt and whilst our budget is so tight, because I'm on maternity leave, there's no room in our budget for me to separate savings into different categories like that. So the focus is just going to be getting this to £1,000, and then should we need to dip into it for any kind of reason, we'll have to. So emergency fund is the top priority. Clothing. Again, a lot of our debt has gone on clothing because we've all needed new clothes. Like, it's just one of those things. I've tried my hardest to get a lot of things off Vinted, especially for the baby. We've bought a lot of her bits and pieces off Vinted, especially like you can get some amazing like baby bundles of clothes on Vinted. So, and a lot of it's brand new. But it's getting to the point where the kids, the boys are going through clothes sizes so quickly. I just cannot keep up. So I need some kind of funding in here for clothes. I draw the line at buying secondhand underwear. But again, because of his incontinence issues, we go through a lot of underwear. So we need to have some funding in here. So we've got emergency fund and clothing are the top two priorities. Maternity buffer. Now, like I said, I didn't have the opportunity to kind of save up any maternity pay to help me over the next few months whilst I'm on such a crap pay. I don't know how the government expects you to live off £184 a week. It's just insane to me, but I'll get off my soapbox about that. So my plan is, I have got an insane amount of things to go on to Vinted. I've kept all the boys' clothes from when they were little, like tiny babies, just in case we were going to have another baby. But obviously, because she's a girl, none of those clothes, well, some of them I can keep, like the neutral stuff, but a lot of those clothes are not kind of suitable for her. So I have got an insane amount of stuff that needs to go into Vinted. It's not just clothes either. Like, I have so much stuff just lying around the house that we just don't need. So my plan is, you know, because I'm going to have so much free time with 3 kids and that, is to sell as much as I can on Vinted and build up £1,000 maternity buffer to kind of help us on those months where we just don't have enough to cover the bills, basically. So that's the plan with that one. Wedding, we are still getting married in October. Luckily, everyone that we had booked, so the venue, photographer, everyone has kept our deposits. Like they're rolling our deposits over for the new wedding date, and they've kept their prices the same as well. So we're not going to have to pay any more than we originally thought we were going to have to pay. We've paid probably about 60% of the wedding off, but we've still got a few more things that we need to pay off, and there's a few things that we haven't, like a few finer details that we've not paid for yet. So I do need to save some money towards the wedding, but that's kind of once we've got some funding in these 3. So it's not a priority at the minute, but we are going to have to sort this out by October, because otherwise we're going to have to take out more debt to pay everyone off. Little Pickle's birthday. So I've got birthday envelopes for all 3 of the kids. So I've got Little Pickle, Big Pickle and Baby Pickle. They're in the order of their birthdays. So Little Pickle's is in February, Big Pickle's is in July, and then Baby Pickle will either be hopefully November. I'm hoping she comes in the next 9 days, or it'll be December. Just again, so we don't have to kind of fall back on those credit cards again to kind of fund birthdays, like we did last year. I'm not gonna lie, the birthdays and Christmas last year were completely funded on credit cards. It's annoying and I'm ashamed of myself for doing it, but it's kind of where we were. So yeah, Little Pickles is first, with his being in February. I've only got a couple of months to kind of do that. We will kind of restrict ourselves. Normally I would do 200 or 250 for the kids for their birthday, but maybe we can try and see what we can get for 100 this year for each of them. So I've got 3 envelopes there for their birthdays, and then the last big one is Christmas. So again, we funded Christmas last year on credit cards, again because I was working. So I worked Christmas Day, I worked Boxing Day, I worked all over New Year. So I felt like I had to compensate for my presents with presents. So yeah, this year's going to be completely different, and you'll see that in our budget when I do it for December. Excuse me. Like I said, I got long COVID. I got COVID when I was about 20 weeks pregnant, and it just doesn't seem to have gone away. So like, I get this really chesty cough. Yeah, so apologies for that. But yeah, Christmas. So they're the only envelopes that I have. So we've got emergency clothing, maternity buffer, wedding, the 3 kids' birthdays, and Christmas. And that's all we're going to be focusing on for the foreseeable, until we get into a financial position where we can kind of introduce more savings. Because we have nothing at the moment, we won't be focusing on extra debt. And again, I'll talk through that in the debt video, but it's more important for me to have the money in here to cover the things that we need to avoid us having to use more debt. There's no point me sending £500 to my credit card and then in February having to put £200 back on my credit card to pay for his birthday, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where we are. So that is my setup. So planner and the 2 binders. But yeah, if anyone does have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. I apologise for getting emotional. I apologise for disappearing on you all. Thank you for everyone who supported me previously. Thank you for everyone who's supporting me now. Thank you for making it to the end of this ridiculously long video. But yeah, here's to resetting again. This must be like the millionth time that I've started from the beginning again, and hopefully it'll be the last time, fingers crossed. But yes, I will see you all again very, very soon. Thank you and goodbye.